right, everyone, welcome. I hope you're having a great day today. For those of you joining us from Arkansas, hello from Arkansas. For wherever you're at in the United States, here in Orlando with the Edge team, welcome to our kvCORE Mastermind. Our first one we're going to do here is unlocking your database, truly making sure we're walking through some step-by-step things to make sure that your kvCORE is set up so that you can maximize your success as you start to generate leads and go from there. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and kick it off. Someone do me a favor and just give me a thumbs up if you can see a big slide that says unlock your database. Awesome. That means it's working. Go technology. Had a couple challenges this morning, so happy to hear that. And John's going to be monitoring the live chat and the waiting room for us to let people in because it is requiring us to have that stupid waiting room today. As always, with any learning you do, whether it's with us or the brand, it's all recommended. You're bound by the law and ethics. Make sure you do that type of stuff right. But everything else, these are best tips, practices, things just to help you grow. Apply them to your business as you see fit. And as always, avoid fines from violating the Telephone Consumer Protection Act, TCPA. Make sure that you are only calling and texting people that have given you their consent to receive text messages and voicemail drops and that type of stuff. One thing I will tell you is kvCORE is really good at helping us do that, making sure that if we import someone, we're not going to be able to mass text those folks until they have themselves opted in. So definitely we appreciate all the efforts that they have done for us. So real quick, couple housekeeping things. For those that are new to kvCORE, or maybe you've been around and you just don't understand everything that it is for you, I came up with this little slide to help us truly understand everything that you're getting with kvCORE. You're getting a full responsive consumer website, pretty powerful website, automated lead generation tools. You're getting an AI-powered smart CRM, email drip marketing, SMS drip marketing. You seamlessly can search all multiple listing services that your brokerage belongs to. It's not just the ones that you're a member to, which is pretty cool. Complete lifecycle consumer app, if that's an option that you've opted for. An integrated auto dialer, so you do have a dialer built into the mobile app. Best in class interactive CMA tools if you have the Core Present module, and then the detailed business analytics. So there are a lot of great tools and resources in here. So the first key to unlocking our database is organization. And if you're brand new to kvCORE, you don't have a lot of leads, maybe you're brand new to the business, it's so important to start practicing some of the tips and tricks I'm going to give you now so that as you grow your database, it's organized, it's easy to manage, and no customer or client gets left in the dark, right? Our database here, we have like 55,000 leads. So I've paid the price in some bad organization things in the beginning as well. So when organizing our leads in kvCORE, the first thing we need to think about is our source. Where did that customer discover us, right? What was it on Facebook? Was it on Google? Where were they when they decided, hey, I'm going to visit your amazing website and register to become a lead, right? That's what we're talking about here. So we want to make sure that's accurate because it cannot be changed once you've created a lead. Because the source doesn't change unless you made a mistake, right? But the actual source itself won't change. So it's so important to get that right and make sure you search because, especially with Edge, we have about 1,000 sources loaded in there. So type the first letter like Facebook, type in the word F and see what comes up. Don't just free type stuff in there. Try to match with an existing source if at all possible. It's going to help keep your database clean. The next level, once we know where they're coming from, is what type of a contact are they? Are they a buyer, a seller, renter, an agent, or a vendor? Now, the cool thing about this is, customers can be more than one. Clients they can be a seller who's also going to buy. So you can tag both of them in kvCORE. So you have a buyer-seller contact. You can have a buyer or seller renter, right? They're going to sell and rent. All of these can be mix and match. You can apply all 5. You can apply 1. You can apply as many as you want to your contact record. The next thing you want to consider is their life cycle stage. And I'm going to dive into this in just a second, but we have sphere, prospect, new, active, client, contract, and closed. Again, I'm going to dive into what those mean in just a second. And then the next level is the hashtags. I use this like for if a buyer's been pre-qualified, if they're a first-time home buyer, if they're a dog owner, cat owner. There's lots of things you can do. If you're farming a neighborhood or multiple neighborhoods, you can put a hashtag for the neighborhood name. So I live in Sawgrass Plantation. If I was farming and brought all those contacts in, I would hashtag them Sawgrass Plantation. Another tip is to add a second hashtag for their street name. So maybe you list a house on Boggy Point Drive. You can go back and just pull up contacts that live in Sawgrass Plantation on Boggy Point Drive quickly and easily. And I'll show you how to filter those leads. So those contact lifecycle statuses. Let's dive into that for just a second. Whenever a lead or contact is out in the world and they visit Facebook or any third-party web out there, social media, Zillow, wherever you're getting your leads from, anything other than you putting the lead in yourself, right? They're going to come in as a new lead, new category. And this basically means, I like to equate this to if you've ever been in the emergency room, you get triaged, right? So first they're going to determine whether or not you need to go to the waiting room because you can wait, or you're an urgent issue. We have to deal with you now. Well, you need to get to a doctor. So this is kind of what this area is. This is where a new lead that registers on your site, go there, that's your holding area. They shouldn't be here more than 14 days. If you haven't figured out if they're going to be buying, selling, renting, or investing in the next 90 days, within 14 days, we're going to assume that they're not. All right. Once we have made contact and we know if they're looking to buy, sell, rent, or invest in the next 90 days, we're going to move them to active or prospect depending on their timeline. So let's look at sphere and prospect then. Both of these sections these categories are for anyone who is not looking to buy, sell, rent, or invest in the next 90 days. Sphere are people who know you, right? And then prospect are those that don't personally know you. They registered on your website. They came from Zillow or Facebook, Instagram, right? They don't know you. If I was to call this person and say, hey, how do you know Chrissy Wright? They're like, Chrissy who? Well, that's going to be a prospect. If they're like, oh, Chrissy, we went to high school together, blah, 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 blah. Sphere, right? So that's kind of how you differentiate it. Now, active is for anybody that's looking to buy, sell, rent, or invest in the next 90 days or so, but has not signed a buyer, a broker agreement, or a listing agreement. Oop, I just went too far, okay? They have not signed any agreement. They've indicated this is their desire, so we need to work towards, anybody active, we're working towards, if they're a buyer, getting them to sign a buyer broker agreement. If they're a seller, getting them to sign a listing agreement. That's active. Then client means, hey, they're either a seller who signed a listing agreement or a buyer who signed a buyer broker agreement. Now, I'm going to caveat this for those outside of Florida. In Florida, we don't have clients as transaction brokers. We have customers. So that's what I'm talking about there in the note. Client is the default label inside of kvCORE. So clients or customers would both go to client as far as the system is concerned. Contract, they've signed a purchase and sale agreement, right? Buyer or seller, they've signed that purchase and sale agreement. And then closed, we should all know what that one means, right? We got the money. We're happy. It's closed. It's funded. Awesome sauce. We can move on. And the reason I like to cover this first whenever I'm doing a training with a new group is that kvCORE is AI powered. So when you're picking these statuses, you're telling kvCORE something. If I pick active, I am telling kvCORE this lead is looking to buy, sell, rent, invest in the next 90 days. If I say prospect, they're not. So then kvCORE has that nugget of info. So the AI can at that point start to help you evaluate how you should be contacting or not contacting the lead, when, what type of messaging you should be sending. It will help and work with you. So it's so important at all the levels, if we go back, and think about the organizing of our leads, that we make sure we are categorizing our leads properly, labeling them, hashtagging them, doing everything right. Take that extra minute just when you're putting a lead in to make sure we're doing things right. So let's dive into kvCORE, because now I want to go live. So when you log into kvCORE, this is your home screen. I absolutely love this screen. Here at the bottom is my favorite thing. This is everybody that has been on my site. I'll refresh it so we can get an updated, that was about an hour and 20 minutes ago, an updated view. So, excuse me, just 36 minutes ago, June was on my site looking at this property, and she was looking at it right here on a desktop. Mike Fanine was on 2 hours ago looking at this property on desktop. I received received a phone call. Someone called in on my smart number and it put them in as a contact. So I can go start to do some more investigation. I received an email from a customer who received a property alert. She's not interested this time. Thank you. Sent from my iPhone. Great. I can click here and just respond to her right away. Mike here, if I wanted to email him or call him or text him about this property, I can just click right here. I don't even have to log into into the contact to do anything. And oh yeah, cool thing, right? ChatGPT integrated into here. So if I don't know what to say, I can say, he looked at a property at 123 Main Street, but didn't request any info. I want to follow up and say generate. I know do you have any questions? You like more information about the property? Let me know. If I don't know what to say. Or I want to follow up in Spanish. Can it do Spanish? Why, yes, it can. It can get you started. How about that? Pretty cool, huh? And then you can also attach the link listing, put the MLS ID, and send a link to that listing to remind them what listing. So I love this because it's nice and convenient, and it's in chronological order with the most recent activity back. Like Joe Johnson, he's really active. He's going crazy on the site. So we might want to reach out to him. All right, so the first thing, and if you have questions, chime them in the chat, unmute yourself and say, hey, yo, I've got a question, and I will answer them as we go. And then after we're done going over the quick things I want to cover today, we'll open it up for any questions on anything that we haven't talked about. So the first thing I like to mention, I mention this with every new agent when I train them, is adding a new lead. So if you're going to add a lead, contact manually, quick actions, add a contact, super simple. Seems really simple to do this, but I really want to set, going back to that, being organized. First name, last name, email, phone. If you have permission to contact, make sure you check those as yes. Otherwise, when you create the lead's going to be imported as opted out, opted as, brought in as do not call. So make sure you check those yes. If you have their address, put that in. Again, take your time right here. Lead info. Pick the right options. So I can pick, again, multiple. I can pick as many as I want, all of them. Pick the right one, because that will enable certain smart campaigns. So if I have a buyer lead and I have a smart campaign in my system for sellers, it's not going to show up on the lead as an option to put them on that campaign unless I have seller highlighted, right? It helps keep our screen clean. What's their status? What's that? We talked about the new lead, active lead. It should, if you're putting them in manually, it should never be new lead. It should be sphere, prospect, active, or further on, right? Here is my pet peeve. The lead source is required. Manual add is defaulted put in. Manual add is not a source, folks. Please take the time, click in here, and find the right source, right? If you're not sure, ask. But you can just put a space, go in here, type in F, for example. So I can do FA. Let's see what I come up with. So Facebook. Okay, so I have a space here in the front. That's why. There you go. So here are all, now I can hit press enter and it's going to add face as a source, but here are the different options down here. If I have a friend, so I'll type in FR. Well, here's friends or family. I'm not sure who Freeland and Nass is. I think it's supposed to be associates, right? If I have sphere, I just type in sphere. Here's my sphere. So again, here we have someone, we have our default one for the company, but someone went in and put a second sphere of influence source. Try to pick the one that's already there. It helps us get better data as we move forward. And as you grow your database, it's going to help you have better data if everything's under the same campaign. If you're working with a lender, you can add the lender here. For example, we work with Andrew Acosta. Copy the lender, add any notes you want to. You can even add hashtags here. So just take the time, make sure under the lead info section and lead options, you're doing all, making sure everything's just right here. Take that extra time. Don't be in a rush. This is setting this customer up for success. All right. So now we've covered that. I want to talk about your profile because I see this as a huge gap. So up under your name in the top right is your name, company, admin, Kevin. We'll have your name, I'm sorry. You'll have your username. You're going to come down to my profile. And just take a look at your profile and make sure that everything you can is filled out. You can click this blue button here. Make sure all of your information is as much as possible filled out, right? Have your email address, who the lender you work with, just make sure your titles, your social media channels, all that's filled in. And then in the signature section, I see agents like to go cray and they'll take and copy from like a website or something and then paste it in with graphics and stuff. Make sure in your about me and your signature, you want to keep it as clean and simple as possible. Remember, when kvCORE is going to be sending emails out, it's going to include a header and footer with your company logo or your team logo. If you have uploaded an agent logo, it's going to do that for you. So you don't need to put it into here. I would recommend just keep it super, super simple. And if I was to put this, like I'll come up here and I'll highlight my entire bio. I'm going to cut my bio. If I'm going to paste it in on Mac, I'm going to do paste and match style. So don't do Control V or Command V. It's going to be the, I guess it's Shift Control V on Mac or Control Command V on, Windows or on Mac, and then paste and match style here. The reason we do that is you don't want to bring in any code or anything like that from another application, right? You want clean text. And then once it's in here, then format it. So if you paste something in, it's got bold font or bullet points or images, you brought in a bunch of junk code. And if you go up here, you would see that this thing is probably got full of all kinds of weird foreign language you're not used to. And that's going to increase the chance that your email gets put into the spam folder especially on your signature. You don't want that to happen, right? So make sure this is as clean as possible. Oop, I clicked the wrong button. So see how clean my signature is? You should see some of the ones I see. So make sure that's nice and clean. Make sure you're sending out your signature on outgoing emails, and just make sure everything on here is filled out, because again, you want to make sure you're putting your best foot forward with your website. The other thing is come up here to your settings and make sure, like if you're going to be out on vacation, you're not going to be around, make sure you push yourself on vacation mode. So that way you're not being held accountable to any lead accountability rules that your brokerage or team may have. Home search chat, do you want them to be able to chat with you? Make sure you have that turned on. Daily call creation's my favorite thing. I have it making, I'm kind of cheeky for those that know me with our 21. So every day I have it create for me 21 calls to make to my database. It's going to look over my database and say, here are the top 21 people that you should call. I'll get an email first thing in the morning at 8 a.m. and it's going to let me know who I'm supposed to call and why it thinks I should be calling them. Maybe they visited the site 3 times in the last 7 days and we haven't called them in 14 days. So it's going to help you identify that low-hanging fruit of your leads to know who you should call, right? So just a great tool. You can change the number. You can have it create calls on weekends. I don't. And you can pick the statuses that you want it to call. So I just keep it to prospect, new lead, and active lead for me. But you can add that whoever you want to. So those are the big things I wanted to show you in here. And again, if you have any questions, please stop me and ask those questions.
I have a question, Kevin.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
when I connected the social medias on there, everything is working except for the Twitter and LinkedIn. Whenever I try to post to the Twitter or LinkedIn from kvCORE, it sends, or I don't know if it's from kvCORE or Canva, but
That's
whenever
me from Canva. So all this is doing is when you go to your website, so if I go to kevinjohnson.c21edge, all this is doing is putting my social icons here on the left, right? And then it's also going to be on the agent profile here, right? So that's all you're doing is creating links. That's something different outside of kvCORE. And just shoot an email to support or give us a call after, and we can help you see what's going on with that.
Okay.
Sound like
Thank
a
you.
plan?
Yes.
Great question, though. All right, so my next venture, we're going to talk about some settings that you kind of do them once and you're done. Under marketing, we're going to go to all marketing. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try to find behavioral automation. Should be towards the bottom of the section. So behavioral alerts are automatic communications sent to your contacts when they perform specific behaviors on your site. They drive engagement. So for example, if a site hasn't, or a customer hasn't visited my site in 14 days, and all of a sudden they come back, it's going to send them a text and an email. I can preview it. Hi, Kevin, thanks for visiting your site. Are you focused on any specific areas or property types? We haven't talked to them in a while. You can edit and change it if you want. If you think you're smarter than the system, go ahead. These were written by some pretty smart folk. I've chosen not to change mine. I leave them alone. And by the way, they work. Here's the email, restarting your home search. I'm glad you're able to spend some time on my site again. It looks like you're doing a few different home searches. I'll research your areas and set up some popular to keep you on top of the market. Anything specific you want me to look for? Right? So it's already doing that. These are the behavior alerts. So anytime they favorite a property, you can turn them each individually on or off. And you can say, I only want it to apply to what categories of leads are you interested in? And then here's my favorite thing is if they are in the new lead or prospect, right? Do you want it to move it to active? And I like it to have that on. So that way, if they're in those categories and now they're re-engaged, let's move them to active. Let's see if we can't bubble some interest up. And then if not, we'll put them back in prospect later. So behavior alerts, make sure these are on. Very, 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 very important. My next thing I want to talk about is in marketing. We'll go back to all marketing again. And I want to come down here to market reports and valuation settings. This is another easy button, another set it and forget it. So once you turn these on from this point forward, it will work. It's not retroactive to old leads. All right. Listing valuation. When a new address is added, set up a listing valuation report. So if you or the customer adds their address in for their home, it'll automatically add in a listing valuation report on a regular recurring basis every 28 days. Automatic. You have to do nothing. Just by adding an address, there's 12 touches a year that your customer is going to get, right? Actually, I think it's 13, without even you having to do anything. And the market report. Once a listing is viewed, use that area to set up a marketing report. Or if the lead has no listing valuation or market report, but does have a search alert, set up a market report for the area of interest indicated by their search. So if they're searching Orlando or if they're searching Jonesboro, Arkansas, it's going to automatically just set up a market report for that area. Again, once a month, it's going to send them out that report. Now we have two touches. Value add. I'm not asking for their business. I'm giving them information about either their property or the market or both. Most people are going to be very appreciative of this information, right? So that's another. Once you've done this, you never got to do it again. Okay, so you just turn those suckers on. So the next two things I'm going to talk about is on your website. So in our left panel, we're going to come down to Web and IDX and click on Website Manager. On the bottom right-hand corner over here, you have website content. Please do make sure if you have testimonials that you go in here and add them in. All right, you can also, there are some integrations in the marketplace. You can have it automatically bring in your Zillow reviews if you would like as well. Or you can just come in here and add them in if you'd like. So you want to do it manually, just click Add Testimonial. Who wrote it? Paste in the text, click Add, and you're done. And that will appear on your website. Now, once you have, did I close my website out? I did, didn't I? That was kind of silly because I wanted to show you something. Once you have testimonials, a menu option will appear that says testimonials. But that won't show up if you don't have any. So, right, want to make sure we have testimonials. All right. The other area, you can, from that main screen again, I can click on View Edit My Service Areas and SEO. All right, so you click on View Edit. And this is going to be the service areas that we have. Now, I want to check something real quick. So, because I forgot to check this before. So my apologies. So, let's see real quick. Under, yeah, I think it's this one. You can have, I use ChatGPT, but we created a a little tool to help you create some stuff here. So if I want to add an area into here, I'm going to come up here to add, and let's just say I'm going to type in Pine Hills. So Pine Hills neighborhood, I want to make sure there's nothing that says Pine Hills area. So I'm going to go with neighborhood. Now it's added that in here. And then what I can do is use ChatGPT to come up with some keywords and the page text to have it display on the page. So what I want to do is show you the difference. I have no text on this one, but I have text on this one. So we'll click on Orlando. This is the Orlando page. It's market stats. Again, no text. I didn't put anything. So it's got the most popular and the most expensive listing. Look at this. Expensive listings. People like to house hunt outside of their ability, right? With some great information, listings, new ones, reduced ones, open houses, just some great information. But if I take that extra time and I add in some text, now look, wow, right? It just makes the page a little bit better and helps me get some more organic search results. A couple of different things that this helps me with is if I go to my home page, it should have areas we cover. It'll start to put a link in every one of these for everyone you create. It'll start to show up. So I've already created the Pine Hills one, and there it is. It's got to get some stats in, so give it some time. Some of them load quicker. It might take a minute or two. If I go and pick a bigger city, like if I put Kissimmee, most people have heard Kissimmee, even if you don't live here, here's the Kissimmee city. And then I can click on this in Kissimmee because it's so popular, so big. Lots of data in there, right? So add as many of these to your site as you want. And then the cool thing is I can take this and share it, because then if I take this and share it on social, then if people are starting to look, they click, they go, they dive into it, they click on houses and such, it's actually going to go ahead and get them to register as a lead. And we'll talk more about that lead generation stuff next week. So that's how to add service areas and testimonials. The next thing I want to talk about, I got 2 more things to talk about, and then I will be done. I apologize, folks. Is enabling the birthday and anniversaries. So I'm going to go over here to marketing again, all marketing, birthdays and anniversaries. Learn more. So this will, if you have the birthday in the lead's profile and the date of their last purchase, it will send them a happy birthday and and a home anniversary email. So it comes with a default one. Here at our office, we created some custom ones. So I changed and used our custom one. But you can view here. So this is what ours look like. And it just automatically sends this out for me, right? I can have it run on their birthday. I can say, no, I want it to run before their birthday. So I can say, you know what? I can want it to run 1 day before their birthday. So I can change the message to say, hey, David, tomorrow is your birthday. Just wanted to get ahead of everyone else and wish you a very happy birthday. Now it makes it sound a little bit more personal, right? You're able to do that here with the system. Why you would want to do it after the birthday, I don't know. Hey, I forgot on purpose, or maybe, hey, I hope you had a great birthday yesterday. I don't know why you'd want to do it, but yeah, you can. And the same thing for the house anniversary one, and you can create your own template. If you're using kvCORE, you're not with Edge, and you like our template, just shoot me an email, kevin@c21edge.com. I'll be happy to export the template and send it over to you. And that way it's just done for you, right? And again, just make sure they're on for everyone. Why would you not have this on? So again, here's one where now I've shown you how to add a market report quickly. So that's 12 touches. I've shown you how to add a listing valuation. There's 12 touches. Their birthday, anniversary, now we're up to 26 touches a year. Just right there. Just done. Then if we start adding search alerts and other things, it's going to start turning more things on for them. So that's the set it and forget it. The last thing I want to show you guys how to do is If you see these little buttons up here at the top of my screen, these are saved filters. This is where I've gone in, I've created a filter. That way I can just refer to these leads anytime. I don't have to go click and refilter every time. So let's say I wanted to only show me my sphere. And then I come down here. I got my name already selected. I don't care about anything context source that I don't have a birthday for. So show me everyone that's, a sphere, or let me just put a couple in here that doesn't have, actually, I think I have everybody has my birthday. So just sphere, no birthday, apply filter. And then it'll pull up everyone in my sphere. It better be 0. It better be 0. It's thinking hard. That's good. It can't find any. Ha 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 ha. Oh, a couple. I got a couple I got to go after. Okay. So then I know I got to go get those birthdays. I can then come back down here and hit save and call it my birthday filter, or no birthdays. And then I can pin it or not pin it. I chose to pin this one. And that's how I get it to show up here. Unfortunately, my screen, I got too many filters, but if I make it smaller, it brings it on in. You can see my no birthdays filter here. Over here on the filter sidebar, if you click on the gear icon here, all the filters you have set up. And then if it's checked, that means it's pinned. If you want to delete one, you can delete it. Boop, and it'd be gone. The one thing you can't do right now is reorder them, so they're stuck in that order. But I did have a little birdie tell me there's a major release coming up soon, and this UI, this experience, is going to be drastically improved. If you didn't get an email from kvCORE in the last couple of days, there was an invite that went out for their product release. So they're going to be announcing it, and I think on the 30th it is. So big updates. New website builders are coming in the first and second quarter, new experiences, new filtering, more filtering capabilities, lots of great things. So folks,
Is there a way to be a part of that listening?
Yeah, if you are a kvCORE user, it should have sent you an invite.
Okay, I think I might have already opted into it then, where the
Yeah.
president and the CEO and everyone's going to be talking.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Yep. They do 2 of those a year, so always keep an eye out for those. And that's what I can tell you is they bought Boomtown about a year ago, and they have been working really hard at innovation and development, and that year of work is about to get announced, right?
Perfect.
They're going to announce what's ready to go, what's almost ready, and what will be ready by the end of the year. So it's pretty awesome. And for those that don't know, Inside Real Estate has an annual conference. It's in April in Charleston, South Carolina. It's called Unite. It is an amazing event. It's not obviously Florida 21 and 121 are my favorite events. So this will be my third favorite event. It's more affordable than 121, but it's brokers, team leaders, team members, agents from various different top producing companies from around the world. kvCORE, Inside Real Estate, Boomtown collectively have about 500,000 customers. So it's a pretty awesome event. Lots of great learning. Tom Ferry's going to be there this year. A couple other cool speakers. So it's Inside Real Estate Unite. And you should have got an email too about that. If you didn't, just go check out their Facebook page. So that's all I had to show you that I wanted to talk about. Obviously, next week I'll talk about my favorite top 5 ways to quickly and easily generate quality leads using the system. But until then, if there's anyone has any questions, I'm here to help you with them. What questions do you have?
So we had a question in the chat about deleting a lead that has no valid email or phone number, or they're on the DNC and they have no valid email.
So I would never delete a lead. Ever. I always tell the story of where we had a lead that was had a bad phone number, bad email. The email was go FUC yourself, but fully spelled out. And the agent was wanting to delete it. I said, just transfer it to me and send me an email saying that if I can get them to close, then I get the money. I get to keep the commission. Well, a couple years later, they actually changed their email. They would keep looking at properties, here or there. They eventually changed their email, purchased a property, and I got to keep commission on a 400K, deal. Right. So put them in there, market as such, but just you never know when they're gonna come back, and they'll match up on that cookie or whatever, and they're back in. Never delete a lead. That's my advice.
I have a question
Yes,
as
sir.
well. Okay, so when they opt in, so I have leads that come in, and like I noticed on your dashboard, all the names are proper. Whereas mine, like for example, I'm looking at one now, it's Tina Nelson 8312. Do you go in there and manually change that on
Sure do.
each one as they come in?
Yep. And
Okay.
reason being is if I so here's one. So
Okay.
whoever's lead this is, I apologize if I'm about to pull up one of your leads. We know her name is at least Darlene, right?
Right.
It's a good guess. So I'll go ahead and at least make sure that I have her name properly formatted, and save that. And then you can come down here, and so kvCORE did find some stuff here, right? So then I can go and take this LinkedIn profile and see it's Darlene McCoy. So within a moment, I found this person's information.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing, but I just didn't know if there was something that I'm missing that I could use. So,
It's because they signed up without putting their name in. It was just an email. Like when we get leads from the brand, because of how they come in through email parsers, it's not the most reliable. And so sometimes we have to play sleuth. But I recommend doing that because otherwise the emails that they're going to be getting, are going to be like, dear Darlene 6385.
right.
So and then once you refresh, it'll instantly update your feed. Boom. I am working on a way, and I'm gonna test it out. It would cost, but there is a way with API Nation where you can do a two-way sync between your kvCORE database and a Google Sheet. And then from that, my theory is I can create a Zap anytime a new row is added to that Google Sheet, to then go grab the first name and last name and format it properly in a Zap, and then update the lead back into kvCORE. It would take probably 5 to 7 minutes for that process to happen. So the first email or text might go out. But if I can make that work, I'm going to be pretty excited. That's my project for this weekend. And there's also a possibility of having Chat GPT, adding that into a Zap step and having it maybe do some research to see if it can find something. That's next level, but I'm working on it. There's got to be a way to do this better. But great question. Any others?
Kevin, when you are adding a note, it's for yourself, correct?
So if I'm
For a
in,
lead, if you're adding a note.
yeah, the contact will not see it. It's only going to
Okay.
be you or the lender if you've decided to share that with the lender. Okay. And that's in the CC.
Right. I have some leads. Sorry, I have some leads where it does not let me shift the toggle for the CC lender. Like I have to send it. It doesn't let me shift it to no, it's locked.
So if it's a company lead, it's not going to let you not.
Ah, okay.
Right. Because remember, and for those that are not with us, our lender actually contributes 50% of the advertising dollar spent. So it's their lead as well. So anything that's happening on that lead, we need to let them know. If it won't let you transition it to yes, in that case, the opposite, you just want to go to the profile details and just make sure that you have a lender assigned.
Okay. I found this lead myself, but you're saying it might have also been generated
Well,
from the lender.
since that's that specific of a question, and we don't want to discuss, and I don't want to pull that lead
Okay.
up for everybody to see. If you can do me a
Okay.
favor, just once you have the lead open, just copy the URL, right, and
Okay.
then shoot that over to support in an email, and I'll take a look at it for you.
Okay, thank you.
So it's going back to the first question y'all had. So if a contact opts out, if you see like the opt out in their actions or
Mhm.
contact field, what does that mean? Like they don't want to be contacted?
Yep. So if they've opted out of phone calls, it'll put the circle there. It'll put the circle over the email if they don't want you to email them, and they'll put a circle over the phone number if they don't want any text, or the chat bubble if they don't want any SMS. So that's their basically that's our. They could not be on the do not call list, but if they request a company to not call them anymore, you have to follow that.
Oh, so in that case, you would still keep them as a contact in your.
They're still a contact, yeah. Because if I delete, I need to know they're opted out. If somehow they get brought back in my system or later, they have already opted out.
So just stop reaching out to them at that point.
Yeah, if someone's opted out, under no circumstances. I mean, obviously it's your world, it's your bank account, as I tell folks, right? If you want to pay fines, have fun, but yeah, don't contact people that have opted out. Like here's an example too, like making sure that when you get a lead, fix their spelling of their name, so that way you're not yelling at them with all caps. And this is what I'm hoping I can fix through an automation, but we'll find out. But yeah, so I've never deleted a contact ever, ever, because you just never know. Well, I'll show you while you're thinking more questions. One of my favorite filters is go to behavior. I think it's here. Last active under behavior, and then pick. So show me someone who's been active in the last 7 days, and hit apply. It'll show you everybody that's been on your site in the last 7 days. And if you haven't talked to them, great reason to call them.
Oh, that's pretty cool. So will the behavioral actions, will they cease and pause? Like if someone opts out and they're on a campaign or something?
If they're opted out, the system will not allow you to email. You cannot email that customer.
Oh, okay.
The only way you'd be able to email or call them is if you were to go into your cell phone and dial their number, or to go into your email and just send them an email. It won't let you do it from within here. So if I go into, so here's one where they opted out. This them testing. So see how it says unsubscribed? I can't. Won't let me.
So
I
even
can
if you
force a
already had
resubscribe
them,
if I want to. If they've told me it's okay, but it won't let you.
so the system will automatically, if they just decide to opt out later after you had already been sending them, put them on a campaign. So the
Yeah, it's gonna
system.
opt them out. Yep,
Okay, cool.
absolutely. That's why it's so important to use kvCORE as your means to call, text, and email, right? Because if they've opted out, it'll stop you from calling that person. If you decide I'm just going to call them from the contacts on my phone, your phone doesn't know they've opted out. And then you just called them and you got yourself in trouble. So some
Can
great.
Can you show where to opt them in or opt them out once they're actually in your system? Because for example, I have a lead that wants to opt in, but I cannot find how to opt them in.
If they send a message back to the number, just have them text the smart number, that will opt them in. So if they reply, it'll opt them back in, which is the preferred way, because then you have them saying, I want to receive communications. Okay. You have a written record of that. Alternatively, you just click here and click on subscribe. Just click on the unsubscribed and click on subscribe.
Yeah,
see that?
but for the calls, it was showing me for text, but not for calls, to opt them in for calls.
I think under the more actions, I think it gives you those options as well. Yeah. You see unsubscribe from email, something. Subscribe.
Yeah, I think once you subscribe to text, it would be fine. So if I subscribe this one to text, because this is a test one, so we can do this one with confidence. And then I'll close this out. I'll refresh the screen and let's see what it says. Again, just make sure you have something in writing that they have resubscribed. Yeah, I don't know. It didn't do it. I'll reach out to support and find out. But just make sure you have something in writing.
All right. Thank you.
No problem. Great questions. Any other ones? Come here. Are you driving? You're muted. I can't hear you. I hope you're not driving. If you are, you need to leave the call, please.
Well, I had to hop in my car for the inspection.
Okay. All right. Any other questions? No questions? Nothing about kvCORE? It can be about anything in kvCORE you want.
So I have a quick question. In regards to the business card, like when you want to send them like the business card through kvCORE, after the first time you send it, is there another way to send it again? Because I was trying to do that yesterday and I couldn't figure it out.
So
Like
it's a
after you sent them the first one.
For those that don't know, it's not a type of business card. What I train on is not to give out your business card and said, hey, I'll text you my information. Open up the kvCORE app, go to add a new lead, and then just add the business card campaign that I've created. Or you would just within the lead add in the hashtag business card. Sorry, don't put the hashtag. Don't put the pound sign or whatever. So then you would just add business card. See, someone went and put in a dash card. I don't know why you would do that. If I add this, as soon as I add it and save it, it would then send out a text within a minute that says, hey, it's great connecting with you. As promised, here's my information. And then an hour later, it's going to send them an email with your information as well. Once you've sent it, you've sent it. It's not designed to be resent again because they already have it.
Okay, thank you.
And it works. Now you got them in as a lead and they have your information. So you're on offense. If you're handing that business card and walking away, you're hoping they call. Even if you send them a digital card, do the NFT where you just share it with them, you don't have information. Maybe you just get their phone number. Or in this case, you get their phone number, email, and they're already inside your system for you. And there's already a follow-up scheduled. So it's pretty cool. And all that is a smart campaign. Again, if you're not with us, with Edge, and you would like it, I'm more than happy to share it with you. Just shoot an email to kevin@c21edge.com, and I will send you the code to import it. So it's literally immediately send a text, 30 minutes later, send an email. But I can send you the sharing token, and you can import it in.
So when you sharing your social media templates and you can enter in your number and everything, if you put the smart number that you can locate out of your profile, if you use that number on the templates and the people call, will that go routed to the other agents or will it be routed to you if they call that number from one of your postings?
So how the smart number is going to work is if you're using the company smart number, which is the 0720, or if you just you'll know that's your company smart number unless you've bought a personal one, right? And then it replaces your personal one will replace that one. What's going to happen is when the call comes in, the system looks at the caller ID. Is that number that's calling in associated with a lead that is in the system? If the answer is yes, and there's just one agent that has that phone number in their database, it will automatically route that call to that agent. If it is not, it's going to bring it in as a new lead and rotate that out to to the next available agent. If the phone number calling in is on a lead, two separate leads profiles, one David, one Raquel, it's going to look at who has the lead been most engaged with recently, and that's who it's going to send it to. Okay, so that's why we recommend you should never use the company smart number on your advertising, right? That's for only once you have them in kvCORE, use that in your signature of your kvCORE, so that way they're calling that number. But I recommend getting your own smart number. It's the coolest thing since sliced bread, because then anyone that calls in, as you saw, like right here, it's going to automatically, if they're not in my database, it's going to automatically create a lead for me. So then I can just go back in. The source is tracked call, so I know how that I connect with them. I go back in, I edit this one, pop in their information. There we go. But at least I got that lead in there. It's captured the lead. I can go back in and put my call notes in. And then every time a lead calls you on that smart number, it's going to automatically, prompt you to put the call into kvCORE. It just makes it so much easier. It makes your life so much easier.
So the smart number that we see in kvCORE, that's not a private smart number?
That will depend if you have purchased one from kvCORE, yes, it will be there. If it is this 517-0720, that is our broker number. That's our office number from kvCORE.
Okay, thank you.
So you said don't advertise with that office smart number.
No, because if you do,
Right, you giving your lead away. Okay, cool.
Shaquille O'Neal could be calling you to list his house, and it's gonna get routed out to someone else, and you're gonna miss listing Shaq's house. I mean, has it sold yet? I mean, it's on its like 7th or 8th listing agent now. If you want to buy your own smart number, marketplace for kvCORE. Did I click on it? I thought I did. I need to reboot my computer. I haven't rebooted in a couple weeks. And then you're going to look just for the smart number. You can type in here, just type in the word number. And there you go. I will also tell you, if you're interested in paying for leads, the smart social leads, good results.
I'm having exceptional results.
Really? Talk about how's it been going?
So two things. One, to follow up on what he said about the smart number. I know a lot of people are finicky about, well, it's a new number, it's going to confuse people. It doesn't. It doesn't. It is before the smart lead, the smart social leads, I would say that's the best thing that you can spend your money on. But I signed up for everything. So I'm the dummy in my office. I did the smart local leads. I did the Google pay-per-click, the boost, and the concierge service. And so basically what that boils down to is an estimated 50 leads per month. And the smart concierge service essentially vets each person that comes in. They'll send them a text, they'll try to call them, and they'll give you a transcript of basically everything that they talked about, or lead didn't answer, or voicemail wasn't set up, or basically anything that happens. It is recorded and put in your news feed on that lead. And so I started, I want to say 2 weeks ago. And as of right now, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 20. So 24 leads. And out of the 24, I've had at least a response from 11 of them.
That's good.
How much did that run? How much did it cost you?
Well, I did everything. Keep in mind, okay? So you don't have to do everything. So don't let this number freak you out. You can scale back a lot, but I'm paying $1,000 a month for everything.
That's not bad if you're doing everything.
Right. I'm doing, the cream of the crop, the top of the top, everything. So don't think that you have to spend $1,000 a month to do at least some of what I'm doing. Because I also have the vanity domain. I have a smart number. Like I said, I'm the dummy in my office where everybody's like, David, how's it going? Well, I'll let you know in 3 to 6 months after I've spent a lot of money.
And made a lot of money. I mean,
Yes.
just by comparison, depending on where you're at. I mean, down here, so if you're spending $12,000 a month, and for the Orlando area agents, all you need to do is get 1 1/4 deal, 1.5 deals, in the year to break even.
Right. So I mean, it's 1,000 a month, so 12,000 a year. And I mean, for here, average sales price is pretty low. You know, about 195 to 210 is what we are. And so, I mean, 3 to 4 deals for me is going to cover all my expenses plus some. That's making money.
And you already have 11 that you're engaging with.
Exactly.
Those are pretty good results.
Yeah. So I mean, we're 2 weeks in. So I mean, we just as the months and time goes on, I'll stay involved with y'all Zooms and I'll let y'all know how it goes.
And hopefully some of the things we talked about today, will help making sure that now that you're getting those leads in there, they're getting all the touches. It's just helping convert them.
Oh yeah.
So when you buy your own smart number, do the leads ever go into the pond? Or
No,
it's
only
only gonna be for
nope.
you?
No, anything you create's for you. The pond leads are only for what we're doing is at brokerage advertising. We have a special campaign just for Jumpstart agents, and we have another campaign that is for all agents. So the leads that are going to the pond we're advertising to generate leads for the pond.
Okay, thank you.
All right, everyone. Well, that's time. It's been an hour, went a little bit over. I appreciate you being here with us today. Don't forget, every Thursday, we're going to do a topic. If you have a topic you want us to cover, you can always email support@c21edge.com. I'll add it to the list of things to cover. Next week, top 5 ways to generate leads with kvCORE for free. So I'll give you 5 things that you can do quickly and easily. Each of them will take you less than 5 minutes to do. So 5 things in less than 5 minutes each to generate leads for free. All right, so that's what we're going to cover next week. And then, again, any questions. So come with questions. If you're having challenges that are about the platform or you have questions about features, benefits of the tool, let me know. We have a brain trust here that we're going to keep building, right? There are more and more brokerages with Century 21 switching. So one in Houston just came online. We have Chrissy and her team up in Arkansas that are online. So more and more making the switch from Moxie to kvCORE. We've been on kvCORE the whole time. So we're welcoming them to the club. Let's get a good creative brain trust together and keep sharing best practices and tips and tricks. And that's what this is about, making us all more money. So thank you for attending. Next week, same bat time, same bat channel. Have a good one, everyone.